Hey everybody, Mike Hansen, back with another Bite-Sized Tech Plus for Vintage Viewers video. For over 30 years now, most of us have been dealing with the conundrum of how to save our passwords, how to remember our passwords, because everything seems to be password coded now. So today's video is going to cover two things. One is the don'ts, things to don't do with regard to your passwords. The second segment is going to give you a glimpse at my own personal system for managing passwords. So let's get into it. Now that you've had an opportunity to review the top 10 recommendations for creating safe and secure passwords, where not to store those passwords, we need to talk about where do I store those passwords? How do I make them accessible just to me and not to the bad guys out there? Well, I have a method for doing that, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, I need to let you know that there is no 100% guarantee on the safety and security of any method of password protection. So with that in mind, let's get to my method. Now, my method requires a couple of different things. I work across several different device platforms. I work on an iMac, I work on a MacBook Pro, I work on an iPad, and I work on an iPhone. So I need something where I can port that information on passwords and logins from one device to another without actually storing that information on the device itself. So there's a couple of things that I use to do that. The first is an SD card. It is a form of external storage that I use for my method. The other thing is an external card reader, and that card reader works on all of my devices because it has a USB-C interface. I'm going to include some links to those products in the description below, and they're really inexpensive to get yourself started here. Now, I have to let you know that you can use any kind of external storage device. You can use a flash drive, an external hard drive, you can use a USB drive. Any of those things will work. The reason that I chose mine and my particular one is that I can secure access to that SD card. I can password protect that. Now, within the SD card is where my information is stored. This is where it's going to be up to you as to what platform you use to store that information. In my case, I have a very simple spreadsheet that consists of login and password information and account information for all of the things that I need to be able to access at one point or another. And what I do is that can be password protected. as well as the SD card being password protected. So I have 2 layers of protection there. Now, one of the key things to this is do not name your SD card passwords and logins. Mine is labeled Home Improvements. The file that I use, the Excel file that I use, is labeled Plumbing Supplies. So you don't want to be obvious in what those file names are, because somebody then will put some effort into cracking them if they can get their hands on this. The cool thing about mine is it's tiny. So I have a particular place that I store that as I travel and move from device to device, and you can pick your own that makes you feel comfortable. I would really advise against keeping it in your shoe, because these SD cards can be easily corrupted. This is where I need to also mention you need to have a backup of that SD card, and you need to store it in a location that is only known to you. So there's always some backup information in case that card gets destroyed or in case it is actually stolen. So with that in mind, basically what you want to do is secure it 2 ways. Now, I've left some links with regard to being able to password protect both an SD card and the Excel file down below. One of the key parts of using the method that I've described here is you have to be diligent in keeping up the information that is in that SD card. If you don't log that information as it comes in, as you create new accounts, as you update passwords, it totally becomes worthless. And there have been a few cases where I've fallen by the wayside a little bit on that, but I've learned my lesson. So I keep my SD card close by depending on any device that I'm working on, and I immediately update my login and password information. With this video, I hope I provided some information that will help you feel more confident in your online dealings as far as safety and security of your accounts and your login and password information. Down below in the description area, there are links to the products and helpful links to other YouTube sites that have been mentioned in the video today. Also, there are links to the products that were used in creating this video, things like cameras and tripods and lighting, that kind of stuff. So until next time, have a great day.